funny, bro. It's so funny to me how his value can just plummet like after showing that you're versatile. Like teams value versatility. I thought that's what we were brought upon. Like, even when you're playing football as a little kid, bro, like you want to show that hey, you can play on both sides. You show that versatility. Like, you know what I'm saying? You're more valued on a team that way. So now we're coming into an age, or at least we're coming into the business side of things when it comes to the NFL, where hey, if you actually do more than one thing well, hey, we might just jip you and try to, get you for the free, you know what I'm saying? Or at least not for the free, but get you on a low price, you know what I'm saying? So try to lowball you based on, the different markets, based on different positions, things like that. So it's just so strange to me, bro. That really is like it's striking to me, you know what I'm saying? Um, but damn, man, like shoot, like what does that tell our any future wide receivers or any future players that show that are able to do more than one thing? What does that tell them? They're not going to be able to have any leverage when it comes to negotiating contracts. It seems like a dangerous thing, and that what we're witnessing from Debo.
Few, I ain't making no commitments unless I'm seeing it through, and that shit ain't always easy to do. Nah, it ain't easy to another year alive, pushing my dreams, finding balance while I'm looking at screens.
Yo, what's up? I know it's been a while. The Josh and Denver podcast right here. The Denver Josh podcast. Your boy Denver right here.
Yeah, it's your boy Josh. Yo, welcome back. Welcome back. Embracing y'all. We're embracing y'all with open arms. All our old viewers, all of our new viewers. Yo, welcome. We know how the thing set. You know how we go on. So we out here gonna give you your latest sports news, or just things that may have happened a little while ago, but we haven't touched upon, and we just here to cover it all. So let's get into it, my brother. Let's get into it. You good though? You blessed?
Yeah, I'm good. Sorry we've been out the last few weeks. We got I got sick a few weeks ago. Down to that. Mr. COVID over there. He got me for a few days, but I'm back. I'm back and feel
back and you're better.
Fresh, so.
I feel you, man. It seems like COVID is touching everybody, man. Like it's like I feel like all of us are gonna get COVID at least once, bro. Like it's gonna touch the whole population. We're just learning to live with it nowadays. It's just good, that we're bouncing back. Haven't really had anything, hugely detrimental happen with anyone I know with COVID. So gotta thank God for that. You know what I'm saying?
For sure. Wish everyone health and wellness, you know what I mean? But yeah, I feel the same thing as you. I feel like everybody's gonna get it at one point. Some people, I know some people that said they've never got it and they don't think they're ever gonna get it. I'm like, chances are, I think, like you said, everyone's gonna get it at some point. So yeah, man, just gotta, you gotta fight through it. And some people get worse symptoms than others. Some people don't. I didn't lose my sense of smell or taste, just had a headache for a few days. I felt weak, but after that, I was good.
Yeah, honestly, you gotta, like I said, thank Jah for that, because bruh, losing taste is a different thing. Like I don't even know if I could cope losing taste. So you just gotta give your praises for real, bro. like honestly, you're like you didn't have to deal with any of that. So you're good, yo.
Yeah, fam. I'm definitely blessed. Yeah, let's jump right into the sports, guys. Let's talk about some of the topics that we missed on, in the last 2 weeks. One of them we can kind of start off with was the passing RIP to Dwayne Haskins. He was a quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and he was in a position to fight for a spot this year as a starting QB. And so it was really sad when we heard this happen a few weeks ago. I believe he got hit by a truck on a highway. So definitely sad to hear that. Definitely was very young, had a bright future. I know there's a lot of, I would say flack from a lot of the reporters that reported it because they were talking about his struggles, like before they talked about him passing. And so that was unfortunate. I think they should have left that out, saying, oh, he struggled. He was a struggling first round pick that Didn't work out with the Washington and whatnot. I don't think they should have said that. And they should have left that out. And you said like quarterback, Pittsburgh Steelers, passed away, and then went on like that. I don't think they should have mentioned his struggle. So I definitely don't agree with some of the reporters that came out with that. But yeah, RIP to Dwayne Haskins, man.
Yeah, for real. Rest in peace to that man, bro. It's sad news, bro. I hate when we gotta come on here and report bad news. You know, we did so earlier with the whole Henry Ruggs situation, but this is even worse because no situation is better than the other, but honestly, it's just sad overall. You mentioning that the reporters coming out with how Dwayne Haskins performance was on the field. I believe Adam Schefter was the first one who came out with that. It was very insensitive, very insensitive. I mean, this whole scenario of him passing away, due to a tragedy, it has nothing to do with his play. At the end of the day, the man's a human being, and that just didn't even need to be included in the initial report. So yeah, this is pretty insensitive, and no need for that. And yeah, man, just going back to the overall situation. I mean, the man was only 24 years old. Like, you straight up a youth, bro. You know what we were doing at 24 years old, bro? Like, like we even live life yet, bro. Like, I still feel like we're pushing almost 30 now, but I feel like we still haven't even lived life like that yet. You know what I'm saying? So the man really was gone too soon. Left his family. He was actually married. Left a surviving spouse. It's just, yeah, just overall, just a very, very sad situation, man. And man, prayers up to his family, bro. Prayers up to his family. His teammates, the Pittsburgh Steelers organization. I believe there was more, like, I don't mean to ramble, but I'm just remembering bits and pieces of the report that came out. But I believe he was in Miami when this when this tragedy occurred, and it was a workout that was planned by Mitchell Trubisky, where he was just trying to get to know his teammates. So he invited Dwayne Haskins and a couple receivers from the Pittsburgh Steelers, and Najee Harris was down there as well. They're all just working out together, trying to get to know each other, trying to build rapport. And it's just like, this happens, it's just like, on a trip where y'all are just trying to get close, get to know each other, this happens. It's just such an unfortunate situation, man. I feel like he's gone too soon.
Yeah, definitely agree. Like you said, like he had an entire life ahead of him, like just even away from football, like post football and stuff like that, Like you said, he was married. I'm not sure if he has a kid, but if he did, like, spending time with like with his kid or potential kids. And so just sad that that this happened, and like everyone's kind of, I was taken off guard, like, what? Like, this is crazy, man. But yeah, man, definitely way too soon. Like you said, 24 is real young. Like, for most people, they're straight out of college in that age. They don't really like know what they're doing or what they want to do. Like, exactly. You're so young, like, there's so much, opportunities and stuff coming up that we don't even realize, because we think, 20s is old, but 20s is young, man. Like, and even 30s is young too. Like, young can be like 40, 50 these days now. You know what I mean? So
definitely,
he had an entire life ahead of him. So just prayers to his family, and yeah, like, wishing them all the best.
Yeah. And yeah, just touching back upon, just the football side of things. I mean, he really had an opportunity to be a starting quarterback again in this league. He wasn't really given a fair opportunity in Washington. People may try to get at him based on his struggles, but I mean, he was drafted into a pretty bad organization, a coaching staff that, just they weren't equipped with, handling, a franchise quarterback, or equipped with handling someone who's, just young and developing him. Because Dwayne Haskins coming out of college, he only started 1 year at Ohio State, so he was pretty rough around the edges. He did have a stellar season, in this lone season starting, at Ohio State. He threw for like a record like 50 touchdowns, but still, definitely wasn't completely NFL ready. But you could see the upside, right? And just Washington, they didn't know what to do with that, and then the coaching changes. They got my man from Carolina, from the Carolina Panthers. His name is escaping me, but I hope you can help me.
Heineke, you mean
my man that the head coach for the Washington Commanders now.
Ron Rivera.
Yeah, Ron Rivera, exactly. So Ron Rivera, came through to Washington, didn't really want Dwayne Haskins again. Usually when you're a coach who doesn't draft a quarterback, you come to the situation, you're like, if he doesn't perform, it's like, I didn't draft him, so I don't really care for him. So they kind of kicked him to the curb, after, they saw what they felt like they needed to see from him. Then, he also made some mistakes along the way, but he was trying to get everything back on track. When he was picked up by Pittsburgh, and again, you just had a real opportunity, and you just hate to see it, just go out like that. So just sad situation, man. It's hard to speak about, bro. Like it really took me back when you sent me the news, bro, because like I saw that Instagram. I looked into it after you sent it to me, bro, because I was shocked, bro. Like I had no idea what was going on. I wasn't on social media at the time, so like when you sent it to me, I was just like, nah, like my mouth really like dropped open. Like I'm like, yo, what is going on, bro? Like it was a different thing. It took me back.
Yeah, it was definitely crazy. And like you said, like he had a chance to like battle for the starting QB spot. Everyone thought Mitch had the QB1 spot locked down, but you never know. Like Dwayne could perform really well in training camp and could have won that job through the preseason, potentially. So it's definitely like that spot was definitely up in the air. And yeah, sad that he didn't get an opportunity to battle for that spot. So
yeah,
man.
Yeah, man. I'm sorry we had to start off the podcast with bad news, but we had to touch upon it. Respect out to the family, and yeah, man.
Let's jump right into one of the main topics, going on today or this week. Is we talked about it earlier, but we can kind of segue into, what's going on with the wide receivers in the NFL. We're gonna start off with Deebo Samuels. Just today they announced that he asked for a trade. And then people were kind of surprised, why is he doing this? He's the main focal point of their offense. But I think it comes down to a report that came out, I think like an hour ago, saying that because he's being used as, we talked about versatility and how he's so versatile. He can be a slot receiver on the inside. He can play on the outside. He could also be a running back, direct snaps, or just a traditional running back. So he's able to play multiple roles within an offense for the 49ers. And they're saying that because of that, they don't view him as, because basically he wants the same contract that Tyreek Hill, Devontae Adams, he said Christian Kirk, all these receivers are getting paid out here, and he wants to get paid as a wide receiver. But they're more angling him more into like a running back type pay. They're trying to drop his per salary per year because they say he plays a lot of running back. And so he said, no, pay me as a wide receiver, not as like a running back / wide receiver. You know what I mean? Like, I thought that him playing both roles would increase his value, and like maybe he'd get paid more than a wide receiver one. But actually trying to decrease his value, saying, oh, you play a little bit of running back, so you want to kind of meet you in the middle between a running back and a wide receiver pay. He's like, nah. And so I think that's what's going on with Deebo Samuels right now. And yeah, like there's some interesting teams he can go to. A lot of people talk about the Jets. That'd be great for me. The Jets getting them. We definitely need a really good receiver. But yeah, like what are you thinking? Where do you think he might end up?
I was just gonna say, you funny as hell with the Jets comment, bro. I don't know if Deebo go fight us over the Jets, man. Unless you want his career to really go downhill, bro. I don't know about that. But it's funny, bro. It's so funny to me how his value can just plummet like after showing that you're versatile. Like teams value versatility. I thought that's what we were brought upon. Like, even when you're playing football as a little kid, bro, like you want to show that, hey, you can play on both sides. You show that versatility. Like, you know what I'm saying? You're more valued on a team that way. So now we're coming into an age, or at least we're coming into the business side of things when it comes to the NFL, where, hey, if you actually do more than one thing well, hey, we might just jip you and try to, get you for the free, you know what I'm saying? Or at least not for the free, but, get you on a low price, you know what I'm saying? So try to lowball you based on, the different markets, based on different positions, things like that. So it's just so strange to me, bro. That really is like, it's striking to me, you know what I'm saying? But damn, man, like, shoot, like, what does that tell our any future wide receivers or any future players that show that are able to do more than one thing? What does that tell them? They're not going to be able to have any leverage when it comes to negotiating contracts. It seems like a dangerous thing, and that what we're witnessing from Deebo in this whole situation. In terms of where he's going to go, it's a great question, bro. I don't even know what potential suitors. I mean, anyone could really use Deebo, but who's willing to pay? It seems like a lot of teams are really, again, just watching their pockets, because just the whole, I think the NFL, like the teams in general, the GMs, they weren't ready to pay wide receivers like that, but the Jacksonville Jaguars ended up showing some real money to Christian Kirk, of all people. He changed the damn game. Jacksonville Jaguars changed the damn game. And I swear every GM is looking at the Jacksonville Jaguars like, y'all are some idiots, bro. Or they're just looking at them like mad as hell, because it's like, why are you paying this guy who's not even a number 2 receiver? He's like 3 or 4 at best, and you're paying him 60-something million. That's like the wide receivers, like wide receiver ones now, that like they're not even getting that much, bro. So they're seeing Christian Kirk money, they're seeing how much he's getting, and they want to get paid, and teams don't seem like they're willing to pay. So I mean, like the only teams that we've really witnessed that are willing to pay are Miami, right? Las Vegas,
yeah.
Who else were you mentioning?
And those are the 2 main teams that, and Tyreek Hill. So Tyreek Hill and the Dolphins, and Las Vegas and Davante Adams are the teams that paying the receivers a lot of money.
Exactly.
Like you said, like I think you'd have to go to a bad team, but a team that is not up there, who has more cap space, like the Texans. Like I mentioned, the Jets. Funny enough, but we have a lot of cap space. You might have to go to a team that's not as talented as a team that he is in San Fran, but just to get the money, you know what I mean? So it's like, what does he choose? Did he choose the money, or does he choose, like, you know what I mean? But I think he definitely wants to get paid, and he's not, he's in the same boat as a lot of receivers. And like we can kind of segue to the wide receiver market, which is, there's 3 receivers all drafted in the 2nd round of the same 2019 draft looking to get paid, and that's Deebo Samuels, that's AJ Brown, and that's Terry McLaurin, the Washington Commanders. And so all 3 of those guys might hold up potentially in camp. I think they're all actually represented by the same agent too, so that's a whole he's gonna have all his guys hold up. But those are all guys like Terry McLaurin's really good in Washington. They use him a lot in the slot. He's really good for them. He's a good.
They're all number 1 guys. That's
AJ Brown, number 1 guy in Tennessee. So he's trying to get that $30 million a year. Deebo's trying to get that $30 million a year. Terry, I don't know if he's gonna get 30, but he's gonna want it's close to what they got. So everybody wants that $30 million a year, that number that Tyreek Hill and Davante Adams kind of hit, that $28-30 million range. That's the range they want. But it's like you said, like, do teams have that money to pay a wide receiver that much money when they gotta pay the QB, they gotta pay some of the other stars in the team? So I don't know what's gonna happen this year. Like, I don't know. A lot of guys might have to take there's no franchise tag because they still have a year left, but like, I don't know, they might have to play out the last year of the contract, man.
Yeah, that's I think they're just gonna have to play out their contract. If they want to stay where they're at in the situation, I mean, the only situation I'd say is not the greatest is Washington's situation with Terry McLaurin. I mean, like in terms of team wise and in terms of, you know, how much success we can see from the team. You know, other than that, Tennessee is a notable team in the AFC. I mean, they find themselves in the playoffs usually. You know, they're expected to be a powerhouse. You know, if you're looking to win games, you know, it's ideal that you would stay in that situation. Same thing with Debo and San Fran. San Fran always somehow finds a way in these big games. You know, Debo has been spoiled. He's been to the Super Bowl in his first year. So I mean, like, you know what I'm saying? So ultimately, I guess they're probably gonna have to give up winning if they want to get that top notch dollar. You're not gonna be in those ideal situations like Las Vegas, you know, like Miami, you know. So we'll see how that plays out, man. It's very interesting to see that, you know, just one small thing causes a whole tidal wave.
Yeah, and we spoke about it, I think, in the last podcast as well, is that the league is turning more into a little bit of a players' league, kind of like the NBA, meaning like the players have so much leverage now more than they did in the past. They know all these, you know, the NFL is making a lot of money. Like I said, they're a $9 billion business. Left and right, they're making deals with, you know, with Amazon, with, you know, there's all sorts of different platforms, providers that they're doing deals with. I believe they have another like big deal coming with like Apple in terms of like the NFL Sunday ticket. All these different like types of, you know, money streams and revenue streams they're getting from all these big companies. They're making a lot of money and it's increasing year after year. The cap's going up every single year.
Yeah.
Teams are getting more money and the players are realizing this, hey, NFL's making a lot of money. My team's making a lot of money. Like, I want to get mine, you know what I mean? So
Yes,
having that leverage, like you saw with the Russell Wilson going to, you know, to the Broncos. I mean, now we see with some receivers like, you know, Devontae Adams want, you know, pay me or trade me. They trade him. You know what I mean? Deebo Samuels, pay me or trade me. You know, it's a revolving door we're seeing over and over with some of these players. And so I think it's kind of a good thing now that they realize there's money out there and someone's willing to pay me. But if you're not willing to pay me, then someone else will. And so, like I said, it's gonna be interesting to see where Debo goes. Where's he gonna go? Yeah, I mean, I was gonna say Green Bay, but they didn't want to pay Devontae, so I don't think they're gonna pay him.
Yeah, definitely not. Green Bay is looking for some wide receivers in the draft to get on a rookie deal. That's what they're looking for. They looking to pay the wide receiver position pennies, bro, because they too busy paying Aaron Rodgers now, so they don't have enough money for that.
I think they picked up Sammy Watkins, I think last week.
Oh shoot, that's news. That's news.
Yeah.
At least well, Sammy Watkins know he ain't got no leverage, so he's willing to pay on the he's willing to play on the lower end, you know?
Yeah. So yeah, like you said, they're probably looking for receivers that are looking to take like a pay cut. So like, yeah, I don't see him there, but if they had the money, that would be the perfect situation because Aaron Rodgers needs weapons.
Yeah, so, he does.
I would say Debo's a good fit anywhere for a team that needs some more weapons on offense and got the money to pay him. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see what happens to all these receivers. Like you said, it's a domino effect. Like, where's Debo gonna go? Is that gonna impact AJ Brown? Is that gonna impact Terry McLaurin? Like, are they all gonna stay? Are they all gonna ask for trades? Like, what's gonna happen? And so it's like we that's what's exciting about this year in the NFL. Like, it's probably like the most exciting offseason like we've seen in a long time, right? We don't see this much trades or movement, right?
Yeah, I've never seen that. I've never seen it like this ever. Never heard of this much, you know, disgruntledness. You've never heard of, you know, the amount of moves made in free agency before. Again, the league has really evolved, like you said. It's becoming very NBA like, you know, becoming a players league, and it's great to see that evolution. Ultimately, I mean, like, you know, this is something that players have, you know, been complaining about. I mean, if you watch the I Am Athlete podcast, you know, Brandon Marshall, Ocho Cinco, they've been having, you know, arguments about, you know, how the NBA and the NFL is different and how, you know, the NBA, you know, with their association and with their players association, they can do different things. And then with the NFL, you know, players association, I mean, they don't have representation the way that the NBA does, because they don't have, star players at the forefront, so you can see like things like these conversations that are being had. You can see that, okay, like it's the NFL is somehow evolving and changing the narrative a little bit. So it's like I said, it's good to see this evolution and this growth. And players can look to get the money that they want and solidify some generational wealth, because ultimately that's what we got to push for our people and our families, because we some of these guys ain't coming from the greatest situations, coming from very humble beginnings. So once they get that bread to be able to change their family situation, man, you can, like, how can you be mad at that? You know what I'm saying? I feel like it's best for them to ultimately, at the end of the day, to do what's best for them and their situation, their family. So yeah.
I definitely agree. I definitely think what's the change is that there's a lot more teams are guaranteeing a lot more of the money in the contract. So before, you see kind of like where a lot of the money is off signing bonuses, which still is happening. I believe like out of Tyreek Hill's contract that he signed with the Miami Dolphins, like 50 million was guaranteed on a signing bonus. So he got his 50 mil up front, and then they kind of divide the rest into the remaining years that he has on the Dolphins. So he got a majority of his money up front, which is fine too. So like, I think where the contract should be going is a lot of the money should be guaranteed.
Yeah.
If not, then you put a lot of up front. You know what I mean?
We see that.
Yeah, and so that's happened with Tyreek Hill, and it's starting just yesterday. I think Denzel Ward on the Cleveland Browns got
shout out to the DB side, bro. You gotta shout out to the DB side one time,
Yeah, fam. Like, I was excited for him. Like, highest paid corner in the league now. He beat John Ramsey's contract.
Yeah.
And he got like 72 mil of the $100 million contract guaranteed, which is pretty good. If it's 3/4 guaranteed, that's pretty good. So that's exciting. Like you said, there's so much money out here. Like, Denzel Ward is the highest paid corner in the league. You know what I mean? So that's the next corner. When he comes up, he's gonna get paid too, in terms of the next corner that their contract is coming up probably this year or next year. So, man, shout out to Denzel Ward, man.
Yo, shout out to the Cleveland Browns organization, man. They throwing out, they using their money, bro. They using their money. They giving guaranteed contracts out here, because I mean, not only Denzel Ward got that guaranteed money, I mean, Deshaun Watson got that guaranteed money too. So I mean, yo, they're organization that seem to be loaded for real. Shout out to that organization again. Also, shout out to Denzel Ward. Yo, he's performed at an elite level to deserve that money. A top corner out there. You don't really want to mess with Denzel Ward, man. He's just a good overall corner. Someone that I could see. I mean, I wouldn't say he's necessarily, one of those like shadow your wide receiver all across the field. I don't think we have much corners like that nowadays, but again, just really solid on his side. Zone man. He's willing to come up and hit you. Really solid, man. So I mean, he deserved that money. Love to see corners get paid. Love to see DBs get paid in general, bro. And I saw Marlon Humphrey's tweet, man, where he said, cornerback is the second hardest position behind QBs, man. How you feel about that tweet? Because some of those statements cause controversy. Some people don't believe how hard the position can really be. But how you feel?
I definitely agree with that, especially since we both played the corner position. So first of all, to educate the fans, like the corner position, why it's such a hard position, right behind the QB. Some people even argue, like I heard like Deion Sanders or other players argue that the cornerback position could be the hardest position in football. And that's because you're the only position you start the play moving backwards. We call it the back pedal for DBs in terms of corners and safeties. You start the play backing up a lot of times. You know what I mean? And so that's really hard. The receiver has a two-way go, even if you have inside shade, depending on, how well you play your technique. And so it's a really hard position. You know what I mean? And when the ball's in the air, just one of the hardest things to do is to try to locate the ball, make a play on the ball.
React to it, yeah.
That's what makes Denzel Ward so good. Then he has 50-something pass breakups, 2-time Pro Bowler and All Pro, 2 out of the 4 years that he's played. So he's been really consistent, and he gets his hand on the ball in terms of interceptions or pass breakups. And that's really hard as a corner, because a lot of times you're in chill technique. And what that means is that the receiver, you're kind of behind the receiver, you're trailing him. And so if he has a step on you, it's really hard to try to locate the ball, make sure you stay step by step with them and make a play on the ball. And so real hard position. I think it's one of those things that you have to kind of play to understand how hard it is. It's like people say, I want to be a boxer, but they've never boxed. So until you go to a boxing class and you spar,
you won't know how hard that is. Yeah.
You're like, yo, this shit's real hard. I think it's the same thing with corners. Like, why people like, oh, this guy, and you watch games all the time, like, this corner sucks, keeps getting beat. He's like, bro, I like to see.
You don't even know.
I see you go in the field match up with a 4-2 guy that could be in motion sometimes. He could be waggling into the slot. And you got to cover this dude one-on-one. The dude has the entire field.
So, it's just straight, facts. Like straight up, when you're lined up across like the field, bro, like I mean, like as a corner, it's honestly God-given talent, God-given ability when you're playing that position, but because you have no idea what's coming at you. I mean, of course, you got film study, you of course know, when you're at that level, you are studying wide receiver tendencies. Still, at the end of the day, bro, you gotta trust your God-given talent, because you don't know really what's coming at you. You know what I'm saying? Like, wide receivers have the route tree, bro. You really gotta, like, you don't know what's really coming. Like they could stem you in, every which way. You don't know what route they're really running, bro. It's true, say, through technique and through athleticism to play the corner position to be successful, bro. Because ultimately it's hard as hell. And then the pressure is really on. Everyone knows if you get beat. Everyone knows if you got a ball caught on you. Everyone knows if there was a touchdown scored on you. It's the spotlight, bro. It's the pressure, bro. It's so many different things, bro. And it's like you were saying, with different techniques and how to play them, right? Like it's really not easy at all, bro. You gotta be cut different, bro. I again, take it from us too. We both played the position. I ain't played as long as you, bro, because I moved on to safety, because I already felt like safety was easier than like safety was way easier than corner. I mean, safety it's hard, but like corner, I will never discredit the cornerback position, bro, in the difficulty that is the position.
Yeah, and plus receivers now, they're more technical, they're quicker, they're faster. 4-2, 4-3 guys everywhere. Harder to cover. Receivers one-on-one now. As you saw in Super with Jalen Ramsey matched up, with Jamar Chase. It's just real hard to cover receivers one-on-one. Not many guys can do it. That's why a lot of teams run a lot of, zone where they have help over top, just because. I mean, especially with the rules now. We didn't even talk about the rules. Back when, maybe when we were playing, we were younger, like high schoolish, you can put a head of receiver. You can put 2 hands on him before the 5-yard mark. You can get physical with them, I think the last time we seen a physical DB was probably the Legion of Boom. We had the Brandon
Browner, Richard Sherman.
And we had Earl Thomas, Cam Chancellor. But since then, the rules have shifted dramatically. Like, now they want to open up the offense.
Yeah.
If you even touch a receiver before 5 yards, it's a flag. If it's past 5 yards, if you bump him, you barely nick him, you know what I mean? It's a flag. Like, they're calling everything these days. Like, and it's a spot. Yeah. So if it's a 50-yard bomb, you touch him at the goal line, the ball's at the goal line. It's crazy. So the game has changed a lot. Like we said, like, it's real hard to play the defensive back and corner these days because of the rule changes, and you can't really be physical.
Like that.
Like a Ronnie Lott and just meet the guy at the line and just clock him. Like, those days are done.
Big facts, man. Honestly, that's a big point, key point right there, fam. Because honestly, I wasn't even really thinking about the rule changes, but yeah, the rules of the NFL, they are made to benefit the offense. Again, NFL knew that they were making their money based on, basically fans watching offenses score a whole bunch of points. That's what fans ultimately want to see. Um, so again, that automatically puts you as a defensive player, as a corner specifically, trying to cover the top guy that like on a team's offense. Um, it honestly puts them at a disadvantage from the get-go, bro. Like you like the game is not made for you to win, bro. Like you know what I'm saying? As a corner, you're like odds are against you every time, bro. So you really gotta be elite. You really gotta have like a different type of mindset, a different type of moxie, where you're like you ain't scared, you ain't nervous, you welcome the pressure, you welcome the spotlight, and you're able to make plays as well. So I mean, it's a different type of thing, bro. Honestly.
Yeah, I definitely like. I think I think it should be tied with the QB position in terms of the hard
Mhm.
position, but obviously QB they have the ball in their hands the entire game, so they control more of the game in their hands. So I definitely understand that point. But like I said, cornerback is either one B or number two for sure as the hardest positions to play in football. You know what I mean? Just your fans listening, just go outside right now and just do a back pedal. I mean, start running backwards. Start moving backwards and try to do that for 60 minutes.
Yeah, honestly.
Real hard.
Like, y'all will figure it out today. Y'all figure it out today. Like, yeah,
Learn
it
to.
ain't easy, bro. It ain't easy.
Oh man, yeah, man. But yeah, that's been the free agent market, for wide receivers. Um, I know we didn't really touch on the free agent market for quarterbacks right now. There's still some available QBs now.
Mhm.
We talk about the Baker Mayfields, the Cam Newtons. We can even talk about Colin Kaepernick. Like you said,
Mm,
he was on the I Am
big
Athlete
news.
podcast last week, I believe, and he mentioned he wants to play. He had an appearance at the University of Michigan Pro Day. He threw to some of the receivers coming out in the draft. Also seen him, on the I Am Athlete podcast, throw to some of the receivers. I think are also coming out in the draft, trying to get spotlight, showing that he wants to play. And then he mentioned also he wants to be a backup, but then he wants to earn that starting spot.
Hmm.
So there's QBs like them that are still free agents out there, that are looking to find a spot to land. Like, you think Colin Kaepernick can make him back? In the league, it's been like 6 years, fam. Like, it's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while. I mean, his last snap was what, in 2016, I believe. Um, Man, it's a difficult situation with Cap, bro. And I would love more than anything to see him back on the field. Um, but even watching just a couple reviews from like Shannon Sharp on like, First Take, things like that. I mean, I want to know why it took him so long to really, show genuine interest in making a comeback. Because, before this interview with I Am Athlete, he kind of played it off like, he stayed ready. He was still training, but you were never really serious if he was, you never really knew if he was serious about really making a comeback into the league. Again, he had other business ventures. He also had a lawsuit that was settled with the NBA, with the NFL. Also had a Nike deal. He was like, making money in different ways. Kind of seemed like he was transitioning more to, you know, just like like I used to do that athlete thing, but like I'm more of a social justice warrior or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Um, so now that he's 34, 35, I mean, he's kind of getting on the older side. It's now he's coming out that he's genuine about being on an NFL team, and letting them know that he's available. He's been staying ready this whole time. It's just like, geez, man, like if you did this a little bit earlier, bro, I mean, I'm sure, I don't know how things would have been. Things definitely would have been rocky, because I mean, just how teams view him, they probably think he's a distraction, right? It would have been hard from the get-go, but maybe if he did say things from early, maybe if he did show that genuine interest, maybe, take upon more interviews back in the day, maybe it could have been better. But shoot, man, I'm almost feeling like it's too late, bro, because I don't know much teams that are willing to make, a leap of faith on a 35-year-old quarterback. There's a lot of people who are able to play football that are, sitting on the couch right now. So that's why it's like, I don't know, man. Is Cap going to get that opportunity? He may just fall in that space of just being another player that is able to play, but is just not given an opportunity. So
yeah,
that's what I'm thinking.
It's kind of tough. Like you said, like he hasn't played since 2016, and the problem is that we all know with football, you need snaps, you need time on the field. So he hasn't played in 6 years. Like my thing is like, has he been training? Like I know he trains around the same time every year, because around the same time every year, around like before the draft going into the season, he kind of puts out something that he's still ready to play. And my thing is he training 12 months out of the year, or he's just training these last these 2 months before the season every single year and then saying he's ready? Like I said, like he needs snaps. Like maybe he should play in one of the startup leagues like the USFL or the XFL just to get a couple games, and not to say like that's his level, but just to get snaps in, get that experience playing with players, live snaps on the field, before he gets back in the NFL. But I think he wants to go straight for the NFL because he feels like that's where he should be. And he could have a point. Like if you think about it, so let's say there's like 3 QBs on every single roster, right? Right, it's 30 teams. Let's say there's 60 spots, right? So every team has 2 QBs, that is game ready, and they have 1 practice roster. So you're telling me he's not top 60 in the league?
He definitely is.
I think he is. I think he should be in the top 60. Same conversation goes with Cam Newton. He said it on his podcast interview. He said there's not 60 guys better than him in the league right now.
Definitely not.
Which is true, you know what I mean? And so, but the question is I think the team, what they're worried about is the whole media, like how it might be a distraction, which I think it could be BS. Like I don't think he's as much a distraction as people think he is. You know what I mean? But he said like if Cap comes back, like he said he's going to be a backup. Well, I mean, looking at it right now, like, and a lot of teams need a backup. But the question is, like, will you want your backup to be a 34-year-old QB that hasn't played in 6-7 years?
Yeah.
I mean, you know what I mean? So I definitely think he should get a shot, but I'm not sure who's going to give him a shot.
Yeah, that's really just the problem there. I mean, the NFL is just full of, I'd say GMs that, don't want to ruffle too many feathers, and again, because Colin Kaepernick came out, they tried to change the narrative, in terms of his kneeling, saying that is a patriotism thing where, it was really a social justice thing. They really tried to blackball the man, you know what I'm saying? So again, the NFL was pit against Colin Kaepernick. They were at odds. GMs, team owners, they don't want to get in between that. They rather align with the NFL's views or the NFL's, agenda, and then go against that. So because, again, they were at odds, again, Colin Kaepernick sued the NFL, gained a whole bunch of money from that lawsuit. The NFL is not Colin Kaepernick is not in their good graces. You know what I'm saying? So these team owners, you think they're going to go against the grain? You think they're going to, give him an opportunity like that? I mean, it's going to be really hard. And then they're going to have to answer questions about it. There's still people out there, very ignorant people out there, that still think that, oh, this guy is anti-America screw this guy, because he kneeled during the national anthem when it really had nothing to do with that. You know what I'm saying? So there's going to be, just like how we were talking about Deshaun Watson, how there's going to be fans that are not going to probably support the Browns because of the whole domestic violence situation, right? There's going to be fans that might not support whatever team that brings in Colin Kaepernick because they think this guy's anti-America or the patriotism issue, all of that. When again, it's that all because of the narrative that was previously written, right? So it's hard, there's almost too many negatives, almost too many cons when it comes to signing Cap at this point. And I hate to say it, but like it's I don't know if it's something that we're going to get to see, and I would love to see it. Like again, I'm a big Cap supporter, bro, real talk.
Yeah, and like you said, like he was doing real well in the 49ers. Like when you had Jim Harbaugh as coach, like he was doing really well. They went to the Super Bowl. They're one play away. That big interception, lost in the Super Bowl. Like they're right there. You know what I mean? They were they were in the conference championship a lot. You know what I mean? He was playing at a high level. And that's why it was so shocking to see him kind of just like out of the league so quick at playing at that high of a level. And so, but it's been a long time. Like the question to me is like, are teams willing to hedge their future? Meaning, like, let's say you have an established QB, let's say the Denver Broncos or like a Russell Wilson or something. Do you want to put a backup in behind a starter like that is young, like a QB you're trying to develop, or do you put an experienced backup in there? Like, there's a lot of experienced backups that, are still capable of winning. We talk about like all the players right now that are like the Taylor Heineke, the players that we think could be solid starters, but they're more like backup role type players.
Mm-hmm.
He could be that type of player as well. Like, do you slot a Kaepernick behind an established starter, or do you put him behind like a rookie or something? Because he's saying he wants to win the job. If you go to a team with like an established QB, he's not winning the job.
Not winning. Nah.
So that's not a situation for him because he wants to be a starter.
Yeah, definitely.
Like he has to be on a team that's like kind of tanking or like has a young QB there, and maybe he can fight for a spot. Like in Atlanta, maybe behind Mariota. Maybe you have Mariota as QB1, and you bring in Cap just in case Mariota doesn't work out. I don't know, spots like that. Like I feel like you said, like hopefully he gets a shot, but I'm not sure because teams are looking to always go younger. Like Atlanta might draft a QB in this upcoming draft to develop behind Mariota. You never know. You know what I mean? And so, yeah, like I don't know if he's gonna get a shot. Hopefully he does. Like at least get like a training camp shot, and just see how he does in preseason. Let's see how well. He says he's been training. Let's see how well he does in preseason. So I definitely think he should get a shot, but I'm not sure it's gonna happen this late in his career.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, just with him being so old. Again, he is gunning for the starting position, so it definitely wouldn't be ideal for him to, if an NFL team were going to pick him up, it wouldn't be an ideal situation for a team with an experienced starter already, someone that they think they have a guy already, to at the forefront of the QB position. It wouldn't be ideal to bring him in as a backup. I feel like, it may cause, I don't know, maybe something within the locker room. I don't know, because Colin Kaepernick's goal is ultimately to be on the field again. I don't think he's looking to take a back seat for real for anybody. So it has to be a team where, they don't really have an established starter, someone that isn't, hasn't fully proven themselves, a team like Carolina, a team like the Seahawks, they don't have no starter right now. Atlanta could even be that situation. I mean, if they don't draft a QB, which they may, but who knows? There's a couple teams out there that really could use Cap, but again, Cap is on the older side. Again, the whole media drama, the whole drama between him and the NFL, there's just a lot of factors that may not allow, it to be possible for Cap to find a home in the NFL, man. It's harsh reality, but so it go.
Yeah, and it's like there's a lot of QBs in front of Cap as well. Like Baker Mayfield, everyone's waiting to see where he's gonna go. Like he didn't show up to their OTAs this week. Deshaun Watson did, but Mayfield, I think he's rehabbing his shoulder or something, but he's not gonna show up to the Browns for at any point this season. So they're probably looking to trade him. And the only team that showed a little bit of interest is Carolina. When the coach came out yesterday in Carolina Panthers and said, "Oh, Sam Darnold's our starter," I'm like, last year, like, are you sure you want to just make that statement that early?
So early.
Like, whoa, like, but that could be a spot. But like you said, there's also Cam was there last year. We talked about in the previous podcast, he had his shot. He obviously doesn't have all the weapons around him to make him look good, but he got an opportunity though. This guy still, like, we said, like RG3, I don't know if he still wants to play, but he's a guy that's a free agent as well. He was a backup for Lamar Jackson for a long time. Even kind of out of the league, like no one really signed him yet. So that's how fast things can change. You know what I mean? So there's still a lot of QBs in front of Cap that people are looking to see where they go first. So yeah, man.
Yeah. I mean, the whole Baker situation, man. I mean, we've been pretty on that situation as a whole. Things have really changed, like you said, things really just drop on a dime like that, man. It's crazy how this business can, it can just change, right? Baker, I think I don't know if this disgruntledness, this public disgruntledness, or him going on, I think he was on the Full Send podcast or something like that. He was all right, busting with I don't know what podcast he went on, but
Boys, I believe.
It was busting with the boys, right? So I mean, just him and his public personality and him going on these interviews and whatnot, I don't think that's the best look for him, bro. Like, it's tarnishing more of your reputation within the NFL. I don't know which teams really are going to want you like that, or at least pay you the way you want to be paid. Like, ain't no way. I mean, I'm just trying to think, like,
his options are limited, fam.
Yeah, like Carolina doesn't even seem like an option anymore. Just like what you're saying, they're just thinking about Sam Darnold and developing him. I mean, they're even receiver. A lot of receivers don't even want to play with this man. Like, if you don't want, like, if you don't have, huh?
Robbie Anderson's the one that said, like, no.
Yeah, Robbie Anderson, exactly. So it's like, if you have developed this reputation where wide receivers don't like you because they kind of have this innate feeling that they're not going to get the ball with you being at a quarterback, like, that doesn't benefit your situation at all. Like, you kind of out of odds. You shit out of luck, bro. Like, you straight up. And it's all narratives that you brought upon yourself, bro. You're losing at the end of the day. Like,
yeah, and
it's all you.
At the end of the day, like you said, there's some change needs to make, like in terms of being accountable. If there was a pick, it could be the wide receiver's fault, but you don't go out and you blast the receiver and like it. You're always publicly blaming everybody else except yourself. Like, you got to take accountability, even though in-house could be having a conversation with the receiver or the tight end in terms of the route they ran wrong or anything like that. You got to keep that in-house, but you can't publicly just not take any of the blame, when you're losing like that. And so, yeah, like, I don't know where he's going to go. I think the team has to get an injury or something. It has to go on. Like, right now he doesn't have any options. Like, he might just have to, like, be a part of the Browns, but, like, just not be showing up to the games or stuff like that.
Yeah, that's what it seems like, because the Browns, they ain't really trying to release him. They're trying to get some sort of compensation. And the way that it's going, nobody's willing to trade for him. So they're kind of just waiting till he gets released. So he might just have a year where he's, again, just, on the Brown squad, but just not showing up to any team functions, any games, no practices, any workouts. And hopefully his contract, because I don't know what year he is on the contract, but eventually, once that contract's up, maybe we can see him going to somewhere that may be beneficial to him. But like, it's just it's a difficult situation, rough situation for the man, bro. Like, and it's on you. Like I said, it's on you. I'm not trying to be too hard on this man because I usually rip this man apart on this podcast, but I'm just gonna give it to you lightly, Baker. If you're listening, it's on you. It sucks. Got to change some things, but it's on you.
Like definitely, like interesting to see where he lands, because like I said, he might be a domino effect for a few more QB that are free agents. Yeah, so I think we pretty much talked about a lot. We talked about Deebo Samuels, the wide receiver market, kind of went into the how hard it's to play a corner.
Yeah,
talked about a lot, fam.
Yeah, good conversations, bro. Good conversations. But well, you want to transition to the NBA? Yeah, of course. Show that big balling. Yeah, it's NBA playoff season, man. It's around that time. Some of the most exciting times. Man, we in the first round. You want to touch upon the Raptors, man? It's their series with Philly. Pains me. I know. I see the look in your face, bro. It hurts to talk about. You know what I'm saying? But we just not doing what we're supposed to do, man. Philly's they're just getting up on us, bro. The series is 2-0. We haven't won a game in the series. I believe we are playing tonight. Hopefully we can, have a fighting chance and get a win in this series. But so far it seems like we can't really handle Embiid, down low. We're not handling the bench play, play coming from young guys like Maxey. I mean, James Harden is facilitating. He seems to be doing what he's supposed to be doing. We just don't have the answers, bro. It seems like we just don't have the answers, and then with injuries to Scotty Barnes in game one, it's not helping our situation either. And Freddie can't do it by himself.
Yeah, it's like Siakam's been playing okay. Yeah, it's just like it's a tough series to watch. Like we're from the GTA area, from that Toronto area. We root for the Raps. Especially when it comes to the playoffs. And yeah, like you said, like Scotty Barnes has been out. I think that's been a big loss for the series. Hopefully, I think he might be game day decision. Hopefully he plays, but I heard his ankles rolled pretty bad. But he's like a 15, 16 point scorer that we're missing, that we need to get those points from somewhere else, whether it's the bench or like some of our stars like Siakam, VanVleet have to step it up and score more. I think Gary Trent, he's sick. I don't think it's not COVID, but he's down with something. So the first two games he's barely played because he's not feeling well. So because of that, it's putting a lot of pressure on VanVleet and Siakam to really play well. And when our main players like Trent and Barnes are out, which are two of our main scorers, it's easy for Philadelphia to game plan more for just Siakam and VanVleet.
Exactly.
And so yeah, like I'm just like this is a must-win game today. Hopefully when this pod comes out, we won the game. Because if we lose today, we're gonna get swept, dog.
Yo, and it's so sad, bro. It's so sad. Like it seemed like it's just like I don't even know what to say, bro. It's just disappointing, bro. It's almost depressing, bro. Just to know that this is what our team has kind of come to. I mean, we're kind of back to I don't know. I think I seen a tweet or something like that. Like we're back to like 2015. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I don't know, man. We're just. It seemed like we're not going to be able to get past a certain round for a good while again.
Yeah,
history kind of repeating itself.
We're missing a piece. Like you said, 2015. Like we had DeRozan and Lowry, but we're struggling. Siakam was young, and then we lost DeRozan. We got that star. We got that Kawhi for that 1 year that took us all the top. We'll talk about injuries. KD was injured. Clay was injured. Okay, we'll talk about that. But still, we had that star to get us through the Eastern Conference. I feel like we're missing that piece. Like even though we got good players like VanVleet, We have Scotty Barnes, who's getting better at every single game. He's going to be a really good player.
Yeah, for future.
Siakam has been playing at a high level, but I feel like we're still missing that one guy. Gary Trent's really good, but these are all good players. But I feel like we're missing that game changer, that
Game changer.
impacts your team. And maybe we're just a big away. Maybe we just need one good, solid starting starting center. I think it's over the top, or a decent center. But I feel like we're just missing that one chess piece. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's definitely what it is. I mean, like if it's taking in, like Freddie's really our only all-star, bro. We need someone else. I mean, again, we have a lot of players playing good. I mean, Siakam is playing better, but we still need, like you said, that game changer. There's most of these teams, at this stage within the playoffs, they have that game changer, that player that they can rely on to take a game over. Philly, they have two. I mean, if you think about it, I mean, James Harden, he could take the game over. Embiid could take a game over. Again, we don't really have one like that, so it's hard to manage, with the big dogs. I mean, Golden State has that game changer. Phoenix has that game changer. Like Memphis has that game changer. With Ja, like every team has that dude that can take it over. You know what I'm saying? So, shoot, if we can get that, bro, we in business. We in real business.
Like, I really think like we have to play really well as a team. Like everybody's scoring double digits. The bench players playing great off the bench, like Boucher. And I think we need a really good performance from like a Van Fleet or Siakam that possibly needs to go for at least 35, maybe 40 to win this game. Like you said, like a lot of teams have that one guy. Even Miami has Jimmy Butler.
Yeah, Jimmy took over that last game.
They have Boston, Jason Tatum. You know what I mean? Like they have that guy. Like we needed one of those guys, either a Van Fleet or Siakam, to kind of be that guy that just goes crazy today. We're at home. We have the home court advantage. We have the crowd. Must win. One of those guys has to play really, really well for us to win. So hopefully hopefully we can get this win today.
Yeah. Fingers crossed. You already know. Like, shit, man. Honestly, we gotta just hope for the best, man. We just gotta hope for the best. In Raptors we trust.
Yeah, because like definitely we don't have anybody that can on defense because like you said, Embiid has been dropping 30 both games, I believe, 30 and 10. We don't have a guy that's gonna slow down Embiid. Like our centers like Precious Chua, Boucher.
He can't handle Embiid right now.
We don't have anybody that can match up with him and handle him, but I don't think a lot of teams don't have a guy that can do that. So we're not the only team dealing with that issue, but a team like Philly need answers. 2019, we had Marc Gasol. Put Marc Gasol in Embiid, he shut down Embiid.
Yeah, exactly.
The younger Embiid, but still, like when we need answers for their questions, you know what I mean? So we don't have anybody that can answer Embiid right now. Tyrese Maxey, he's been playing really well last two games. We need to slow him down. But James Harden, he's been facilitating more with assists, but hasn't really got scoring going. So if he gets scoring going and beating that, we're cooked, bro.
Exactly. Like he could just decide all of a sudden, let me just take it over real quick. Like step back three. Like he could just do that to you. But like so far, man has just been, sharing the wealth, letting everyone have it. The pick and roll with Embiid's been working. I mean, Embiid is not even the type of guy, I mean, with his size, he don't really want to play down low like that. He rather shoot from the 3 too. But the way that our defense is set up, he's just eating down low. You know what I'm saying? Just like due to the fact that we don't really have anyone that can handle him. So shoot, it's gonna be difficult, man. It's gonna be difficult.
Yeah, like definitely. I thought this was a favorable matchup to us. But then like looking at it, like, man, like we said, Embiid is such a problem. Like I would have rather played. Milwaukee is not a better matchup too because Giannis is he's pretty good.
Yeah.
Former
stopping Giannis right now.
Yeah, he's playing really well right now. Yeah, I thought Philly was a better matchup for. I still think it's a potentially better
I
matchup.
think a lot of people were thinking Philly was, a great matchup on paper.
I think we just need like I still think it's a good matchup. We need our guys to play better, like a lot better for us to win. We need to win both these games at home to have a chance. Yeah. We don't want to go back to Philly down 3-1 either. So we need to definitely win both these games. To have a chance.
Yeah, big facts, man. All our Raptors fans, make sure y'all praying with us. You know what I'm saying? We're all gonna be praying together, holding hands. You know what I'm saying?
Please.
And Raptors, we trust.
Like, subscribe, all the Raptors fans, man. Comment below. You think we're gonna win this game 3 and game 4? How well think we're gonna do in the playoffs? Do we have a chance? Will we get swept? All these questions. The main team that can get swept this year, I think there's a lot of teams down 2-0 right now that people are saying they can get swept. So we don't want to be one of those teams. We definitely still want to, we're known for being aggressive and, fighting to the end. We definitely want to show that heart in Toronto. So I think, I don't want to guarantee it, but I'm going to guarantee that we're going to win game 3.
All right. You heard it here first on the podcast. Denver said we're going to win game 3. The Raptors, we trust. Don't make my boy Denver wrong, bro.
We got this, y'all.
We got this. Let's go.
Yeah, so we touched upon a lot of topics right now. We got into everything, man. There's nothing left for us to really speak on.
You already know we covered it all. Thank y'all for joining us, listening in on the podcast. Again, don't forget to like and subscribe, the whole 9. Just keep supporting, we're going to keep coming at you with this content, with this news. And you already know, family.
Yeah, we appreciate y'all listening. Like I said, follow our journey right now. We give you the NFL news, the NBA news right now, the playoffs, some Raptors. We get into some of the other teams in the next pod, but keep up with us. Tell your friends, tell your family, share the pod, and enjoy it with us. Enjoy this journey with us. You know what I mean?
You already know.
All right. Easy.
Yes. Peace. Blessings.
I ain't making no commitments unless I'm seeing it through. And that shit ain't always easy to do. Nah, it ain't easy to. Another year alive, pushing my dreams, finding balance while I'm looking at screens.